a few seconds too soon. Welcome back to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. Time for the second segment. And Austin Trunick was on the first segment with us. We want to thank him again for hanging out with us to watch or to talk about X-Ray before we watched it. So now we're back. Sam.
Wow, a lot of screaming, huh?
Oh, so many screams. I lost count.
Barbie Benton's lung capacity, amazing. And even Beckett said she smoked the whole movie, yet still able to scream. And I like that this hospital kind of has hospital rooms that are reminiscent of an orphanage in a '50s movie. Like there's a lot of beds. They got like 6, 7 beds in a room.
I have so many questions about that hospital.
Yeah.
And, well, I think everyone's on the same page as far as that's concerned. Who hasn't been treated badly in a hospital these days, you know?
Yeah. And I tell you what, the people I feel the worst for are the 2 old women. That one lady just turned her light. She's like, that should have been a complete Clara Peller ready role right there. Like, tell that lady to shut up. That was completely a role for her. But yeah, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the director's cameo as the weird bearded doctor. That was.
Yeah, they said his name right before too, like Dr. Davis, and please call. He's like, okay. The other thing that we talked about, well, we talked about a lot of stuff, but the music of this sounds so much like an Omen-ish or Suspiria at times kind of music. It gets real wild, and there's also just strange moments where trombones go brr every once in a while and just fart out a few notes.
It was not a fart.
I know. Arlen Ober, who did the music for this, did a lot of orchestration for movies. He's the orchestrator for Child's Play, both of the first 2 House movies, Robotech the movie, which is a canon mess up, and Brainwaves, Night Beast, Cue the Winged Serpent. He did all the music in Eating Raoul, Superstition, Vice Squad, Bloody Birthday, Lovely but Deadly, The Babysitter, Galaxina, The Glove, Jaguar Lives, The Incredible Melting Man, and Legacy of Satan. He did
Legacy of Satan.
Yeah.
One of the best things about that movie is the sound design and the music.
His title for Legacy of Satan was Creator Electronic Rhythms. So probably you are right. That is probably the best part.
The Barbie boob sequence. Dare we talk about the Barbie boob sequence?
I mean, yeah.
She had unusual looking breasts, at least in the position that they put her in when they were being lovingly caressed by the camera. It kind of looked like one of those old fashioned alarm clocks to me with the bells on the top.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
it's like that scene in Naked Gun where he says, everywhere I go, I see things that remind me of her. And just those 2 breast-shaped buildings go past them.
It was really sort of an unnatural way to display her.
Yeah.
It was a creepy medical fantasy. Cut.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing in this house, obviously, was the smoking in the hospital. Was the most favorite right thing of this. Was you can just light up wherever in a hospital. And that phone, the payphone that she used, was beautiful too.
A rotary payphone.
Yeah.
Oh,
how nice was that? Yeah. So I really like the foreshadowing of her dropping the flammable stuff on her face. I don't even think she realized that she got the flammable stuff, but later she knows. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of wild.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that just sort of fell into place to make this killer his manifesto come true, but it sort of made sense after they revealed he was a doctor there. I mean, that kind of made sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he had time. He had access to the hospital to set all this shit up.
There's a lot of women not believing women and men not believing women. Like that one nurse, she's like, she should be on her side. She's like, this woman's crazy.
He was not having it. They were mean.
And then she's like, she literally has a Plan 9 from Outer Space line where she's like, you stupid nurse.
Yeah, she said it like 4 times thanks to the ADR.
Oh my God, you stupid You are stupid. Everyone in this hospital is stupid.
Well, she did have a point because all this shit was going on right under their noses, and none of them had any clue that anything was wrong, and that maybe this woman's negative profile was just too good to be true, too bad to be true.
Also, those two, not to go back to the two poor old women that I'm still thinking
You
about.
can talk about them again. I love them.
Yeah, well, they just leave her cot in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Like, what if they have to get up and go to the bathroom? They have to walk around her. They have a maniac. They just leave a woman screaming about murder. Like, just leave her laying on a thing.
Why was she in a ward like that anyway?
There wasn't like a psych ward they could take her to or something?
Did the hospital only have 2 rooms and that was one of them?
I mean, there's only one worse hospital that I can think of, and that's the 5th floor, where you go disco dancing and get high, and you end up being in a mental ward. That's really the only place I can think of worse than this. Also, how did Barbie Benton not get a song on this soundtrack?
I don't know, because she did have a music career, so she should have. Yeah. She must have had a bad agent.
Well, she obviously didn't get final cut over like her breast getting shown. She did get that though. Like when she's running outside, she definitely has on underwear under her hospital gown, and that's like, I don't think that's how hospitals work. But I think at this point we've gotten so far away from reality, that we're fine.
A cheeseburger and a pint of blackberry brandy, and he wasn't trying to hide it either. That guy that was wandering around the halls. I mean, he was walking with it. He was daring anybody to try and take that bottle of booze from him.
There's a lot of fake outs in this movie too. Like that guy goes in the room, there's blood everywhere, and then he finds a red paint can. He goes, "Oh, all right."
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
And it's like there were so many coincidences for that. Like that guy was faking his death earlier, and then finally he opens up that locker and there's a body in it. He's like, "Oh, shame on me, fool me once."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the boy who cried wolf, really.
Lee likes the ending. I agree. It was very New Year's Evil.
Yeah.
Which also was another.
I said it was a Fulci ending. You just throw a dummy off the roof. That's the way to end a movie.
It's even better if the dummy is in flames.
Oh, that way, if the dummy's on fire, you can't tell that it's made of wood. It's the perfect solution. Shoot it at night. It's the perfect solution.
Leave it to the maestro.
Yeah, Boaz Davidson.
But well, I meant Fulci, but
yeah,
Boaz Davidson was paying attention.
He was. He was like, you know what? How do you get an Italian accent too? He has. I can't really. Maybe because I can't do an Israeli accent.
Red herring the movie. Absolutely. Everybody in this movie.
Also, you know who else got screwed over? Like the little girl now, she's like, I know you're not my real mommy, but now you're my mommy. So mommy, isn't she the stepmother?
I thought that guy she was with was a stepfather.
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right.
Her first husband came to the hospital to get her, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or did I have that backwards?
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not saying this movie made any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating that this script could be defined in a logical manner, but I do sort of think it was that he was the stepfather that she made off with at the end. That she could go be a happy family with him. No more.
I do like that. Huh?
That old husband, no more of that old husband that had his head cut off. I do love
that scene where he gets tricked by the old voice behind the curtain trick, but it's a dead body.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? That was so goofy. I mean, that guy, the whole scheme that the killer had to lure him into that room 911 on the 9th floor. There was not one thing that tipped him off something was amiss here.
Yeah.
He just sort of wandered into that trap. He was the world's dumbest character in this movie.
Does she let you touch her in her private places?
Yeah.
Can you do it anytime you want? He's like an ASMR killer.
Barb from Black Christmas would have made short work of him.
Mm-hmm. I love that kill, especially because he again pulls a Fulci. That saw, like once he fires up that bandsaw, He's like, well, I obviously can't move. I'm here. What's going to happen to my neck? And
Yeah.
Barbie Benton does it later too. She's Bill. You brought up she wasn't tied up at the end whenever they reenacted the poster shot, and he was getting ready to stab her, and she's just like, I don't know what I should do.
She
I'm just
was
gonna
just
lay
laying
here.
there.
I'm just laying here. I hope my breasts are in the right position this time. I know everybody in the chat judged me earlier because my breasts looked kind of funny when I laid in a weird position. Do they look okay now?
It
That's
wasn't
what she.
necessarily her breasts. It was just sort of like, her breasts. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we also discussed that probably a lot of the actresses in this hated her because they were like, she fucking got half. And
I was just kidding, but
I
I,
know.
I said
I
like,
agree. I think that's true.
did all the other actresses sit around in the lounge between takes and they're like, that Barbie Benton, she thinks
Yeah.
she's such hot shit.
She was on Hee Haw, and now look at her.
Ugh.
Put out 5 albums in 2 years. And then
Hee
she's
Haw
in
was her
X.
peak. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after this, she raised her kids. So I guess she didn't really do, she shows up on Playboy related shows. And I mentioned to Bill, she's in like 15 episodes of Fantasy Island as like 6 different characters. So is she like a Mr. Rourke? So I think we can all admit Mr. Rourke's some kind of demon or angel of some sort, right? He's not human. Um, like he can conjure these magical events. I really think her character might have been too. She was also in Love Boat 5 times. I think that's all like a Hef thing. They're like, maybe Hef will come on if we get her in, and he's like, I don't do that. I'm too busy Me Too and the hell out of my life too.
Yeah.
So
He had
you know what I
better
mean?
things to do.
Yeah, I got so much better things to do. I have a grotto and James Caan's coming over. All right, guys. And we're having a roller skating party. Like I don't have time for fucking Love Boat. That's what he said. I mean, I guess. Jody, I don't know. I agree to disagree. I think Mr. Rourke's the devil, but it depends.
Did he listen to Norwegian death metal?
Huh?
Mr. Rourke
Oh, I love
listened
that.
to
Yeah.
Norwegian death metal?
Yeah, that's nice. I do love Fantasy Island, though. I do not like the Blumhouse Fantasy Island. Let's never discuss that movie was ever made.
I had forgotten that it happened until you reminded me.
Well,
Right.
I'm sorry. I did something. I did you dirty. I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot, Sam.
Yeah. The other thing, we got to give it to Harold the Killer in this because he really gets a far distance with his gut stabbed. Like he really makes it. That hate takes him a long way. I really do love the head in the box trick. And then he was I love that he put a head in the box and then he like gaslit her and came back and put a cake in it. He had a refrigerator somewhere with that cake in it to keep it perfect.
Right.
And then switched it out. How much he is a fucking planner. You think how many times did he rehearse this?
Saw's got nothing on him.
Oh my god, he is beyond Saw. He's amazing. He planned this since for how many years? Did he also kill her brother back in the day too? Was that supposed to be her little brother?
No.
The boy?
No, it was a boyfriend, I think.
Oh, okay. He's killed before. Like, how about the school? Like, the rest of her school life had to suck. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, when I was 11, my little boyfriend got killed.
They don't make much of that. I mean, she doesn't talk about it. Oh, and I wondered why was she a blonde when she was a little kid?
And then right after that, she went to a construction site and a kid died. And that was in Canada, though. That wasn't here.
Was that prom night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
John brought up is her theme. I can see her. I am Caesar. We kept saying to Caesar Engler, but that's a Pittsburgh joke. That doesn't work across the country.
You have to be from Pittsburgh to get to Caesar, but that's all I could hear.
Yeah.
After I heard it once.
I really like the music. I think the music's pretty wild in this.
Yeah. It's good. The whole sound design in this movie was really interesting, but it had a Suspiria-esque quality to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after Suspiria, so maybe they were going for that kind of thing. I don't know.
I think this is a very serviceable slasher that doesn't get talked about at all. I think it's fun. Maybe if it had come a year or two earlier, but I really like it. I think it's fun. So
Thanks to everyone for coming back and hanging out with us on the second segment chat. And it
yeah,
looks like Paul has joined us, Paul Doliner, and all the usual suspects. So thanks for joining us.
yeah.
Another thing I liked about this was, I mean, it was one of those movies. It's like, logic be damned, we're going for atmosphere here. And even like that, somehow the ninth floor of this hospital, which I think they made some excuse like, oh, it's being closed down, like it's an abandoned floor on the hospital, and like an abandoned floor. They're running out of rooms on the lower floors because they have to, team up at least 8 people. And when she found the guys who were all bandaged and
Oh,
in body casts,
I love this thing. She runs in and goes, "Help!" And the light comes on. And they go, "Whoa!" And she just screams.
she's
They were trying to
screaming.
help her. Their faces are all covered, and I love the medicine back then was like, let's put 3 guys that are completely in traction and put them as tight as we can next to each other. Like, that's how you heal. You heal by proximity.
Her reaction to it was classic.
Hmm.
I don't know. She had no empathy at all for these people that were lying there helpless in body casts.
And they were probably in so much pain, they just said, "We're going to turn the lights out for you so you can get some rest." Seconds later, they heard a woman screaming, run in the room, and then just scream in their faces.
She looked like she was on a dark ride. And then the
Oh,
cart went past like this scene of people in full body casts. And the light comes on and you see them. The light goes out. They're
I
gone.
like the guy in the middle, and he's probably like, "Oh God, now Barbie Benton's seen my dick. This is great." And I'm just
Did
stuck here.
she?
Couldn't flop or anything. I'm stuck.
I didn't see any dick. Where was
No,
there
I'm
dick in
just,
that scene?
I'm joking. But yeah, it's also the scene. Lee brought up the scene with the sheet in the hallway. It is amazing too, where it's really creepy. But if you see someone running at you with the sheet, run as hard as you can. Don't look back. Just keep going.
I thought the opposite. I wondered why she got upset and started screaming. Because I would have just been like, what are you doing? Why are you walking down the hall with a sheet?
Everybody screams in this movie. You either treat people like shit or you scream. And there's nobody's nice except the little girl. And it's amazing. Like, everybody's horrible.
Barbie
And
Benton did both. She treated people like shit and she screamed a lot.
yeah. And you know what? I think if you have kids and they're doing Valentine's, make sure they get everybody's Valentine's and are equally nice to everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because this is what happens. If you get a Valentine from someone, like, I don't want your Valentine, you're going to die.
The injection scene really bothered me.
Yeah.
It looked like whatever it was, he injected it right into her heart.
Yeah. I like that she slowly, like, she's like struts down the hallway and then just she's like, and I'm winding down.
Yeah. In that Halloween ghost thing with the sheet over her.
Yeah. He should have looked at her and went, little Harold turn eye.
I have no empathy for her. I'm a terrible person.
Also, Barbie Benton gets 2 outfits in this movie. You'd think if I was her agent, I'd be like, look, she gets like 6 costume changes.
Samantha
You know what I mean?
Eggar would have had at least 6
Oh,
costumes.
Samantha Eggar would have been like, I can't do her voice as well as Mike Justice, but like, I've brought all these outfits, and I've also brought the hand.
Oh, it's that hand again.
Do you think the hand exists?
It's followed me here from Mexico.
She would have had something with ruffles around her neck, like Victorian kind of thing. A couple peach colored outfits. Barbie Benton got 1 outfit. Come on, Barbie Benton.
Samantha, there's no hand in this movie. Tell it to the hand.
It's a scene with her. They're talking back and forth about all the things that have happened to them. One of my old boyfriends from when I was 8 tracked me down to a hospital 17 years later. Oh, really? Well, a hand chased me the whole way from Mexico.
It was like his grand scheme. Do you think he started planning that from the moment he
Oh,
killed that kid in her house?
he went home. He killed the kid. Went home. I mean, I assume he probably went to a juvenile hall or something. And then as he laid there every night, he was like, you know what? I got a plan. Someday she's gonna have to go to the hospital.
I'm going
And
to go
I'll
to
make
med school, and then I'm going to
yeah,
make sure I practice where she lives. And then I'm going to like
yeah.
put this whole series of, machinations in motion, and I'm going to get her on a hospital gurney and cut her heart out.
Also, she recognizes him right away. She's like, Harold. And he's like, I would be like, well, how the fuck do you know it's me? You haven't seen me in.
Joe
Oh, now you
Spinell would have showed him the real way to do something like that. Like, fuck medical school.
yeah. Yeah, why doesn't he just become a slasher? The end goal is the same. Or is he one of those guys that has a fetish for just planning? Just outright planning.
I don't know. His first murder was pretty sloppy, so I hope all the other ones made up
Mecca
for
said
that.
that someone gave him a gift card when he was a kid to the Scrub Shack, where you buy medical scrubs, and he was like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna have to use this someday. I should probably go to medical school." Yeah, I asked this Mike if he did commit murder as a child. I probably think that when he went to Yale, they're like, "Well, tell us about your school experience." Well, I grew up in a foster home. I killed a kid on a coat rack because a girl wouldn't take my Valentine when I was 8, and they're like, "Oh, you seem like you'd be a great surgeon. Your bedside manner will be impeccable."
That information was locked in a file that was right next to Laurie Strode's file that
Yeah,
revealed she was Michael Myers' sister. So
yeah.
nobody really knew in medical school.
If
Okay.
you go to Harold's High School, there's a blackboard that says Valentine on it. And like, oh, the festival of Saint Valentine.
Marion
Like,
Chambers
oh,
knew.
yeah.
She had that information. She's like, it's not fair. We should have told you everything.
That Strode girl.
This is going to blow your mind, Dr. Loomis, but this girl that he's chasing is his sister. Dong.
It would have been great if Loomis
Huh?
just looked right at her and was like, that coincidences of that are
How
fucking
could that, how could
incredible.
that be? I wanted the scene to go on where he said, "Wait a minute, they never told me there was a baby,
Yeah,
and they never
yeah.
told me there was a 4-year-old girl."
I spent how long has he spent with him? Like what, 13 years with
All
him?
those years. You
Yeah, he
never knew
spent
that?
years with Michael, and at no point, and Michael could talk in the beginning, right? Up until a point, he could still talk, and it never came up. Like, you have any brothers and sisters? Well, I killed one. Do you have any other ones? Oh,
I
thanks
mean,
for
the
asking.
parents were alive. The parents were alive for at least 2 years while Dr. Loomis was treating Michael, so they would have hopefully
Becca said she thinks they were drunks and they forgot that they had Lori.
that is plausible because they were at that same party with Dr. Mixter, and he's a drunk.
Yeah. Also, they stand there with Michael for a long time as the cops come, as the camera slides up. It just, the mom just goes, stares at, my son's a killer. I wonder where that other little girl we had is. We'll have to get her adopted.
There were definitely some Halloween 2 crossover moments in this movie because it was set in a hospital just by default. A
Also,
lot of it.
it's just as disorganized as a hospital. Who
Oh,
knew hospitals
worse.
just had junk rooms where you just throw everything in?
At least Haddonfield Memorial kind of looked real. This one looked like, I don't know, like you said, an orphanage.
Yeah. It's just like tons of junk. You go in a room and there might be 8 old people. There might be 3 people strung up in traction that are screaming. Like, it's the worst. Like, hospitals have units. There are specific floors and wings for different things. You don't just like kind of just throw them on, but whatever. Whatever. I like that one doctor's like, well, I'm going to have to operate on her now. If she doesn't settle down, I'm going to operate. Is that the way operations work in hospitals?
But wait, wasn't that the killer that said that?
No, I thought it was the other. Maybe it was it was.
Was there
Still,
another doctor other than the killer and the creepy, like David Copperfield looking doctor?
no, it was the killer. But the thing is that none of the nurses were like, this seems out of procedure. They're like, yeah, great, do it, fuck her.
Yeah.
Like, the nurses, but you know what? They might be overworked, right?
They were
So they
down for
might.
whatever. Those nurses were mean.
Oh,
Oh my God, they were so mean to her. Like when they strapped her down to the gurney, they can't
yeah.
do that. She was right. They
Did
didn't have the
they
right to
all
do that.
transfer here after the hospital in Coma got shut down? They shut down the coma hospital. They're like, well, we need to get jobs. Well, there's this place that just lets any doctor that may have not gone to medical school and off the street. Well, we'll go there.
Thank you, Steve. It was the bald
Thanks.
doctor that wanted to operate. I forgot about the bald doctor.
But again, like he mentioned that, like, I'm just going to operate on her. And people weren't like, maybe we should like wait for the results. No, fuck it. Just cut her head open. This is like some Francis Farmer kind of shit happening in this movie.
So, Nora's going deep with this comment.
Yeah.
An allegory on American healthcare in the late 70s, early 80s. You know, that is true. And, you know, the smoking scenes over and over again. How far have we come?
Yep. At Red Herring Memorial Hospital.
Anything else you want to say about X-Ray before we go on to our second feature, Last Rites?
I liked it. You know what? Every time I watch this, I really like it. If you guys really liked it, it is out on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome with Schizoid is a double disc. Which, man, I mean, how much quality do you need? I mean, you can just watch that, just keep flipping it back and forth. But yeah, I'm now beyond that. The trailer that you just showed for Last Rites made me super excited. I'm really excited about this movie again. I just watched it, but I'm ready to watch it again.
It's been a long time for me. And I have to say right off the bat, I haven't actually screened this version that we have to show tonight that we found, but we found it somewhere. We're going to send you the link.
It's a VHS rip that we got somewhere.
We're going to find it. We're going to send you the link. It's sort of, it didn't get any love when it was transferred to home video because it had sort of like the wrong format, and they used too much of an open mat, and it showed the tops of the sets. So you know, it's not quite up to snuff, and even the content of the film is it's ultra low budget. This had to have been made. I'd love to know what the budget was for this. I think I looked online and it seemed way too big for Dracula's for Last Rites.
It's a New Jersey regional movie pretty much, and Canon just picked, as Austin said at one point, Canon had 1,100 movies that they owned or more. So this is a movie that they had to distribute. So that's how it got out there. This is it's something. It's kind of like Our Town with vampires. It's like a small town, the machinations of a small town. Also, it pulls my least favorite Dracula move, where it's like the name of the funeral home is Alucard's, and like, you know what, people are like, yeah, that's cool, Mr. Mitzelplick, we get it, we know how it works, but everybody in town is like, yeah, that's fine, it's cool. I will say, much like when we showed My Brother Has Bad Dreams, the ending of this movie, you're not ready for the ending. The ending gets out of control. Like, it goes from like 0 to 10, and all of a sudden the ending goes like 300 miles an hour, and they're like, what? Like, it's great. I really enjoy the ending of this movie.
It's special for sure. This is the kind of movie that really speaks to me. I remember when this movie. Oh wait, there's something I forgot about X-Ray. Remember the ad that Austin sent us? We have to show the ad that Austin sent us.
Oh yeah, he sent this while we were watching it. So this is something else.
Yeah. This is pretty amazing. This is from 19. Oh, of course I don't have it queued up here.
He said it's from like literally 40 years ago.
Yeah, it's from September 5th, 1982, almost to the day 40 years prior. You could go to this 4 sensational hits, and at the Lexington Drive-In.
I really love the cut with scissors and handwritten feel of this one, like especially with the calling being written by hand. Like, this is a great ad.
Well, yeah, look what that first movie is, Sam.
What is The Calling?
You don't remember?
No, what is The Calling?
It has been over a month since we did, and I don't think you were on that show. That is Murder by Phone.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's right. You didn't do that one. That was actually Murder by Phone, an alternate title.
Wow. Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Hospital Massacre is great, but Screamers coming after it Screamers is again in its own fucking world.
Oh,
And then people are like, "Oh, Death House," not realizing what it is. That it's Silent Night, Silent Night, Bloody Night.
yeah, I don't know if they were happy that it was Silent Night, Bloody Night or not.
Yeah. Wow. This is. I really love the whole look of this, especially that they got the tagline in for Hospital Massacre 2 and free coffee and donuts if you make it through Death House.
Yeah, they got a bunch of taglines in there. They got a tagline for every movie.
They got that warning that you will see a human being get turned inside out in Screamers.
Yeah, no, you won't.
You won't. I love that that's the ad for it. It's like, it's really a movie about fishmen. And like, wait, why didn't you just use fishmen in the fucking head? We tried it. It didn't work. We'll put an inside out man on it. It's fine. The sequel to Screamers, let me tell you what, the sequel to Screamers, Isle of the Fishmen, is even nuttier because it almost has no new footage. And it like cannibalizes multiple Sergio Martina movies. It's great.
It's very Boogeyman 2, I guess, in that regard, huh?
Yeah, it's good. And by good, I mean a movie that only I like. But the other thing about
oh, there we go.
Okay, one thing I want to say about Last Rites is the woman who plays the grandmother in this, or the older woman in this, is Mimi Waddell, and she was 65 when they made this, and it was her first movie. And afterwards, she ended up being in a ton of movies. She lived until her late 80s, early 90s. She was in Thomas Crown Affair. She did some episodes of Sex in the City. She's in Purple Rose at Cairo, Hitch, and she's in Student Bodies too. So she did a ton of movies. But this is her first movie, and she's a little older. So
the devil's playing with our broadcast tonight.
Yes. And then Dominic Paris, who directed this, did the movie Splits, and then he did a ton of just documentaries like Amazing Masters of Martial Arts and Bad Girls of the Movies, both of which are on Tubi. And now he makes animated movies kids movies about turtle superheroes. You won't guess that when you watch Last Rites.
There we go.
Oh.
Last Rites. Now, when I was a little monster kid, vampires were my favorite monster. So, of course, when I saw an ad like this in the newspaper for a brand new movie about vampires, I was 10 years old. Actually, I was just about to turn 10 because this came out in March of 1980. And this is actually from Los Angeles. I think
that played in a ton of theaters. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, look at the exposure. When after you see this movie, that's going to seem really weird to you that this little movie got seen by so many people and probably made a whole bunch of them furious.
I will say Canon was, especially with Golden Globus coming on board, needed a lot of movies quickly. Like the Godsend's another one that they got.
Yeah.
Wow. What's New House on Left? Is that... What movie would that have been?
That's the Night Train Murders.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out which one it would be. Wow, what a downer to end the night. What a movie to send people home happy on.
I know, right? This was on my birthday, my 10th birthday in Bangor, Maine.
Your life would have been changed if you went that night.
I could have been in the car right next to Stephen King and not even known it. This is pretty amazing. Look at this. The Godsend seemed to be a movie that they shipped out with Last Rites for drive-in dates.
Yeah.
Another probably Canon distributed film.
And, yeah, it was.
And The Point of Terror, of course, was an early Canon film.
Yep.
With Blood Mania. But a little add-on there. That was the first movie.
What is Naked Countess? Is that the Jess Franco movie?
I'm not sure. It's a comedy, I'm pretty sure. Naked Countess.
Okay.
I had to look it up at some point. One of those Swedish films that Austin was talking about, probably.
Say no more.
The Deadly Angels, which was now I'm going to have to look that up and see what that is. The Deadly Angels. What are they bringing? And look at Piranha. And
don't answer the phone. And Terror. Jesus Christ. What a night.
Piranha.
Piranha, Don't Answer the Phone, and Terror are three movies that in no way go together, and I would love to see all three of them.
Why would they do that?
I love it. Like that's like I want like the next in April drive-in. I want it to be movies that in no way make sense, like that. Like if people are going, okay, that's the feeling I want.
Well, there's a Chinese movie called that was known as The Deadly Angels, also released in 1982, but in the United States, that was known as Phoenix the Raider.
Okay. Canon had a ton of Hong Kong movies that they had bought when Dewey Friedland, pre Golden Globus, owned them from like 67 to 79.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very much a. This all feels like Canon inventory stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a kung fu movie because every movie that is known as The Deadly Angels on IMDb is a kung fu film. So we're just going to go with that.
I love it though. Look out, Charlie! Here comes the Deadly Angels. Whoa!
Here's another lovely thing: Tales from the Crypt 2.
Oh, Vault of Horror.
More commonly known as the Vault of Horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want to know why answering the phone would signal to him that you're alone, because there could be someone else in the house with you.
Yeah.
This is fucking amazing. I almost fell off my chair when I found this one.
Yeah, I know. Free vampire bloody cocktail at the last show, and free pass to drivers. Come on.
Well, I mean, I hope that cocktail isn't alcoholic because they're going to drive home at 5 o'clock in the morning pretty soon.
Yeah, but every movie that's playing in this one is a winner. Like this is just amazing.
Yeah, and look, there's the Mansion of Madness, Dr. Tar's torture dungeon, from the director of Alucarda.
Yep, I love that movie. And yeah, it would clear the parking lot. Chris is right. Except Bill and I would be there screaming at the screen. This is cinema. During it.
Yeah. Our cars would definitely still be on the lot.
Yeah, we'd still be there. And Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. I mean, they should be so lucky to get to see that at the drive-in. What a magical night that would be.
Yeah, that was a Monsterama film years ago.
Yeah.
This is a drive-in lineup that I thought would just really knock your socks off. Schizoid and the Godsend playing with Dracula's Last Rites. This is another title that our second feature was known as.
Yeah, Dracula's Last Rites. I'm looking at, there's two that I'm looking at here. Phobia, Manitou, and Prophecy is a night of batshit science and Native American mysticism that I love.
And Crazy John Huston.
Yeah, and the Blues Brothers 1941 and Gong Show the movie is too good. Like, what maniac programmed that? I'm sure whoever programmed that now works at the New Beverly or something. Like, that's like, I mean, that is the greatest. Like, everybody was doing coke that whole night.
Oh, look closely. He knows you are alone.
Oh. The Villain's a really good movie too. So I mean, with Urban Cowboy and Electric Horseman, that's a man. There's really almost every one of these. I really like the He Knows You Are Alone, Boogeyman, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Again, another just assault on people. Like,
that was the Late Show, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. God, that's a really long movie.
Yeah,
and it's a long movie that dares you to not to fall asleep. So
yeah, yeah, man, we used to be better. This is a reminder of that.
Well, don't be looking at that too long because here's another one that's really gonna blow your mind.
Man,
there's the pairing of Blood Feast and Bloodbath, which is the Red Queen kills 7 times. Yeah.
Beast in the Cellar and Blood on Satan's Claw were both canon, Dewey Friedman canon properties too, so they own those in the U.S. too.
But this was
The
interesting
timer.
because remember the things that Austin showed us on the first segment for Dracula's
Yeah.
Last Rites. This was one of the art pieces used to promote it. So here
Yeah,
it
this is
was.
literally that whole page. They just pretty much copied that page out of the Canon film book he has.
It's far out, isn't it?
Man, that is a great night of movies.
This was from a little bit later. By now, this was from, well, July 1981. So here was The Last Rites still playing theatrically in 1981.
Yeah, and 2 other Canon movies, Savage Weekend and Schizoid. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love Savage Weekend's poster. That's a great poster. Oh my god. What?
Yeah, Get Out of Town, the Tiffin Drive-In Theater, and it was Dracula's Last Rites. What's the one that really?
Prowler.
I guess seeing it with the Prowler, yeah, is kind of night and day.
Yeah. Man, and free coffee and donuts, and you get to come back for free.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh.
Unless it's one of those annoying movies that says, sorry, no passes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steven Spielberg.
You can't come see Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, we're back to the beginning of this. There was still some more I had to show you.
Please do. I'm
getting ice while you do something. I hope it's not getting too boring. Oh, I hear ice. That means good things are coming.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a piece of beauty for you to look at. I don't know. This was actually an ad man in a newspaper. Look how small everything is. I don't know how you could even see any of that information, especially when they put it on that background. That's really headache inducing.
It's crazy because I didn't think the Nude Bomb played too many theaters. I thought that went straight to HBO, so I guess it did.
Oh, it had a wide release. The Nude Bomb.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I mean,
I saw it on HBO.
Me too. Time. People didn't like it.
No,
it wasn't.
It's not good.
It wasn't a hit film.
No, but at that point, I was super into Get Smart, so Channel 22 had helped me with that.
So this is when it appeared on home video.
Oh wow!
Well, this was actually a local Somerset, PA video store from 1986. I think it was out on video already by 1985, but this was just nice. Look at all the other movies that came out.
The Cop and Blue Jeans is an Italian movie. Like, who outside of me was excited about that?
Well, they didn't want you to know what everything was. They wanted you to spend
$250. After the Fall in New York. God. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! I want to win that 5-inch TV.
Look at this giant ad for Last Rites. This was actually from the original run. I just had to throw that in there because it was so beautiful. Oh, this is from New York. It didn't play New York.
Yeah,
what's that?
That played so many places.
Yeah, this is from New York from May 1980. So it took a while to get to New York. I mean, they were saving it up, letting the buzz precede it. The Last Rites.
Yeah, because it was pretty much coming back home because it was made in Jersey.
I wanted to include this because of the other screen was showing Penitentiary and Mr. Mean.
Whoa.
But they had to include that fabulous logo for Last Rites. It's very high class.
Rich kids.
Yeah. Here's our final ad of the evening for Last Rites.
How much do you love the Force logo, though, Bill?
Everything about the logos in this ad. I could get this made into a poster and hang it on my wall. It's beautiful.
When I see the Forest font, I say they were swinging at this drive-in. Like, it feels, or this theater, whatever it was. It just feels like it.
It was definitely swanky.
Yeah. It was. Hey, I made special ice cubes for my Last Rites movie. I made a little tombstone.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a little. I still one of Becca's cookie, her chocolate molds. This little RIP. Isn't that cute?
Those
Like it's so
are
bright.
adorable.
This is the Vampiro Paloma for this movie. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of tequila. I already saw some people are already hitting tequila tonight, and that's good.
Yeah, we encourage it.
Yeah. We're going to do an ounce of Chambord. Good news, too, if you're going to the drive-in, I'm planning my drinks. I just got new containers to hold my drinks for the drive-in this time. So what Christopher Lee beverages will there be? Who can say? We're going to do some Chambord now. Because this drink's fancy, so it's going to get an ounce of Chambord. That's when you know, right? Is this drink fancy? Yeah. It's got Chambord in it. And it also has fruit juices, so you're not going to get scurvy on this show. We're going to do an ounce of grapefruit juice.
We're looking out for your health.
Yeah. And we're going to do an ounce of lime juice, too. This is going to be a lot of fruit. But you could probably get, like, what percentage of your average fruit and vegetables just from this drink. That's, again, looking out for you guys during Dracula's last rites. All right, so let's shake that up. Let's be real careful we don't get it all over the floor. Here we go.
Easy, easy.
Easy, kids. All right. Okay, once you get it into your glass here, you're going to take some squirt, or if you got another grapefruit beverage, go with it. I'm using squirt. That's the easiest one to find. And there you go. It is the Vampiro Paloma. Steve, thanks for posting it in the thing. Appreciate it. The recipe. All right, so here is to Bill. Thanks again for doing a great show. Love doing the show. To Austin for showing up, and for Cannon for having thousands of movies that obsess me. Pazuzu.
For being so awesome. Pazuzu. So I have to admit that I was really disappointed when I finally saw this movie after so many years of it being. I don't remember it playing on TV. I'm sure it probably did somewhere, but I don't remember seeing it until I rented it on home video, and I couldn't believe it because, like I said, the aspect ratio is wrong, at least in the version I saw, because you could see the tops of the sets. So, don't go expecting too much from Last Rites, folks. It's doing the best it can. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
well, Canon often didn't care about their video releases either, of like what quality they came out, because like Austin said, the movie America 3000, the director paid his own money to redo the soundtrack, to get new music in it, to get it re-edited, and play in theaters. And then when the video came out, it's the old soundtrack, and they didn't tell him that the movie was coming out. He found out when he saw it in the store. And he was like, "Who got it?" He was like, "Okay, I'll watch it." And he's like, "The music's all fucked up." And he said, literally, it would cost him less money to use the soundtrack he put on than the old one.
hindsight is 2020.
Every single version that's come out since has the old soundtrack. No one can find, outside of, if you have a 35 of it, the one that played in theaters is right. So, but again, is there a huge demand for a post-apocalyptic canon movie made in Israel without any stars? Yes, but not amongst normal people. So, but some people, you know what? I saw that people are like, Bill set expectations for it. I like this movie, but also
I do too.
It's very, it is what it is. It's an exploitation movie made in New Jersey for not a lot of money. The thing I will say I like about it, and I don't want to spoil the ending, I love that it has a square up reel.
at the end that explains to me what happens after the movie. That comes up. I love that about movies.
Oh, I forgot
Very
about
Animal
that.
House. Yeah,
There's lots of
that's kind of like the crime has to pay kind of ending of this.
there's a lot of
I
footage
guess.
of people just driving around in this movie too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Corpse Eaters.
Mm.
It's an ultra low budget zombie movie that a guy made for his own drive-in theater. He was the only one who had it. It just showed it at his drive-in theater, and they lined up for miles to see Corpse Eaters. It's sort of like a children shouldn't play with dead things storyline about kids like doing a satanic ritual in a mausoleum in a cemetery, but it's super low budget, and a film company bought it. A distributor bought it to use as a tax write-off. So they basically just shelved it and didn't release it, and it's a shame because it really is. It's a homemade thing of beauty, and this movie reminds me. It's kind of between Corpse Eaters and a movie with a real budget. Dracula's Last
It's crazy.
Rites.
You know what's funny is there's a Canon movie called Honky Tonk Freeway that they got the rights to because it was a Thorn EMI movie, and they spent $26 million on this movie in 1981, which is a lot of money, right? And it basically is why Thorn EMI stopped making their own movies, and they sold it as a tax write-off. And when the distributor heard that, they're like, "We're only putting this in theater for a couple of days," and then this movie just disappeared. And they spent so much money on it. It's got like a ton of actors in it. Like it's got the couple from Cocoon is in it. Jessica Tandy and Hugh Cronin. They're married, as always, a married couple in it. Geraldine Page is in it. Like it's got big stars in it. Howard Hessman's in it. Like, and it's kind of like, yeah, it is, Mike. It literally is. Imagine if they made Nashville and Nashville was real shitty. That's what this movie is. But it just literally disappeared off the face of the earth. It's very much like everybody's coming to this town and that has a flying elephant in it.
People already say Nashville's shitty, and you said that this is like a shitty Nashville.
I mean, well, at least Robert Altman knew how to make movies.
I love Nashville, by the way. I don't think Nashville's shitty.
Oh, I don't. I'm just saying that this is the shitty Nashville. I like Nashville.
I know you said you liked it. What's one of my favorite things to do is get stoned and watch Nashville, because it's just every time I watch it, I see something different in it because there's so much going on, you know. You just don't know what you're going to uncover, what layer you're going to peel away the next time you watch it.
Nashville. So I guess we should probably start the movie so we're not up till 6 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Should we drop the link into chat again?
Yeah, let's do it one more time.
Okay. I said that as if I had it ready to go.
I'll do it. I got it.
You got it? Thanks.
I got it. What it takes. Don't get it. All right, I got it. Now I'm going to put it into chat. You know, when you get older, like I've reached the level of my parents where you have to like narrate everything that you do. And now I'm putting the link into chat.
I've been doing that for decades.
Oh.
I got old when I was young.
Yeah.
Look, you're the big box now. Look at you.
Look at you. You're the big box. Aw. I'm excited to see what it looks like. This is one of the movies we've shown that hardly anyone has seen. So I'm really excited about it. So I'm looking forward to what people think.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to do this movie if I didn't like it and if I didn't think other people would like it too. I think more people should see Last Rites. It's one of those sort of low budget obscurities that could have slipped by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we're taking you back to watch Last Rites. The link was just dropped into chat, so make sure you come back for the third segment after the movie's over. We'll have the creeps. I guarantee you, this movie's so creepy. It's spooky. Okay.
Get out the garlic.
Come back later.
Wear it on your neck. Stop.